technology and analytics go hand in hand. What is it that is holding back today the total rewards community from using analytics to take the function to the next level?
From an analytics perspective, if you look at all the performance and rewards processes, Varun, I think analytics sits at the heart of all our performance and rewards processes. I think, the amount of data which we hold, is I think, can provide a wealth of insights. And I think definitely it can help us develop, one, I think three aspects which I was thinking. One is developing a talent mode for us through, identifying which are our top performers, to identifying, where attrition is happening. The entire analytics we can leverage through building to build an entire talent mode. The second is, I think, there's a lot of data which is sitting in terms of benefits with us. Building the next gen benefit cycle or benefit strategy through usage of analytics is something definitely, I think, it's important, it's incumbent, and it's responsibility of all of us as rewards professionals to definitely, do that. Third point being, I think, the entire predictive analytics in terms of, and in this era of great, resignation or great reshuffle, as Priyambi mentioned, I think it's really critical that we leverage analytics to, understand where exactly next attrition is going to happen. I think, and I do think that there is a lot of ground to cover for us, to use analytics in a much more formidable way. What holds us back in terms of, using this analytics? I think, technology could be a big enabler, where, we can use a lot of these analytics coming from technology, whether it comes, from a platform or it comes through, tools like Power BI or Tableau. I think there's a lot which can be done, and these can be great enablers to building a great rewards analytics function.
Yeah, and also to Bimal's point, where he earlier mentioned there's a lack or a dearth of techno-functional people. I think now we're slowly seeing in HR teams, you're having data scientists and data analytics, professionals being hired in the core HR team. I think we all know that we need to use analytics, but how do we take the first step, or whom do we reach out to? I know a lot of companies reach out to their tech team, asking them, can you support us? Can you build some modeling for us? I don't know. Latika, would you like to comment what's happening?
I won't say that we are not there yet. In fact, not just rewards, right? In HR also, there's a lot of focus around utilizing data. The HR leaders are talking about it, and not just in terms of like employee data, but also how do we tie it to business metrics, right? So in my previous organization as well, and here as well, we are looking at various metrics. What is the word that I'm getting from every dollar that I'm investing in my people, right? How is it leading to probably my revenues? How is it impacting my margin? What is my profit per employee, revenue per employee, right? So all these metrics are being taken into consideration. But yeah, like we said, the data is scattered all over the place, and it's all, a lot of it is manual, right? So I think that becomes a bit of a challenge for us as HR or as total rewards professional to kind of develop it further. And there is a need, I think, for the predictive analytics, right? So while we are looking at what has happened in the past, utilizing it in the future, right? Building those models and getting that investment within the HR or the total rewards function to focus on not just what has happened, how far we've come, but also how far we can go. So what are some of, the areas that we could look at, where we could look at how, a person's comp is impacting their tenure with the organization, how their movement along with the market or along with the internal salary ranges is impacting, where are they trending? Even things like, pay equity. So we've moving away from something called a pay gap to a pay equity, and not just, a gender or race focus, but otherwise also within my range, how equitable am I, right? These are the things that at least I've been lucky enough to work on, whether it's my previous organization or it's my current organization. But yeah, there is a need for, like we've already discussed, technology, because that is a big platform for us to go in that direction. So there is lots of data with total rewards, and I think the intent is definitely there now more than ever to utilize this to predict how our talent is going to move forward. But we need to be supported with technology. We need to be supported with the right investments for us to combine the employee data, the total rewards data, and the business metrics to pave the path for the future. So that will be my 2 cents on this.
If you have to start a culture of analytics in your firm, specifically in HR, the essence of that is, getting your data in the right format, in the right place, in the right team. And I'm talking about having a proper data warehouse. The question is, how many organizations have actually invested for the HR teams in a proper SQL server, which will then, pick up data from different sources and have it in a warehouse? I don't think too many organizations have done it. And the organizations have done it, have gone way ahead in the form of predictive analytics, be it for attrition, be it for even simple things like, your renege ratio, basically predicting from which colleges, if you want to hire, those are the people who want to stick with you. Even those two, even, other fundamental things like pay equity or aspects like reward preferences of your employees, because if you're going to personalize rewards, you also have to understand their preferences. But that will all come next. But if you have your data in place, if you know that the data is correct, and if you know that the data is making sense to business, then, and you take your time in setting that up, then you can go very fast. But if that's not in place, then whatever analytics you built on top of that might crumble one day.
In this whole balance between using analytics, using technology, are we maybe going away from the basics of human resource management in terms of being fair, being being equitable, being transparent? I think it's an interesting space where we want to implement pay equity, transparency, and all that, but then we are also depending a lot on past data, which might be biased, right?
Data is the biggest thing, right? Like we were talking about, a lot of it is manual, and wherever there is manual, you can't ever be 100% sure that this is correct. So while we do what we can best out of what is available, I think this whole baselining, like Bimal said, where are we investing in that data? Is that investment happening? Is our leadership thinking about that? Are they willing to invest in it? That's the bigger question that needs to be answered before we start on the entire analytics or predictive analytics journey.
How many in our HR team are equipped, are skilled to look at data? Even as business partners, we are very conversant with data, but really look at it and take insights out. Yeah. I think one area, probably some of you may agree, some of you may not, but I think it's an area which we can all work on and be responsible for, is to really upskill the teams and have, I don't know if there are courses specifically on HR analytics. There are masterclasses that happen in, forums and events, etc. But are there really skilled courses? I haven't seen specific courses.
Are there B schools teaching HR analytics? That's another question, right?
Yeah. Do we come out ready? I mean, ready as in at least theoretically. You're so right, Varun. So that's an area where I really think that one is data, definitely data discipline, for sure. The other is upskilling as an HR fraternity. But more, other than the holding back piece of it, I think one interesting thing that Amit said, and I'm just going to take it on from there, the ability of the technology to be able to cluster talent, not just by performance, but now more than ever, because of the diversity inclusion pieces that have come in. By skills, by locations, by domains, by, even industry. And the talent segmentation is vast. Can my technology handle that? Can my analytics really look at it? Can it, for a conglomerate, is my technology there and analytics? Can I give you that data and get the greatest data out in terms of analytics there? I think that's the challenge that's definitely we are trying to resolve.
I think if you look at the landscape of HR tech partners today, most of them are still solving the absolute hygienic things of digitization, the employee experience, and getting things on mobile. Uh, these are what we consider as hygiene. But since that's not even there now, the focus of the ecosystem is there. And as we get mature and we have everything on mobile, on demand, on cloud, then we build the next data architecture that, okay, now we have all the data on AWS servers. Can we now start extracting patterns out of it, and all of that? And at the same time, I'm sure the whole ethical part will also come, that how do you use this data very responsibly and not use this data to discriminate or unconsciously or subconsciously discriminate. Nobody wants to discriminate by purpose.
To, I think, Priyambi's point that there is a slight level of discomfort within the HR community with data. I think as a thought, why don't we look at democratizing people data? At the end of the day, managers are the ones managing, right? And like we always know, what doesn't get measured doesn't get managed. So you have managers who are equipped with people data. I think we will move into a space where we let the managers have a view of the people data, all the metrics, how they work, because I don't see this staying for a very long period of time, that HR is uncomfortable with data, so data cannot be passed on or we can't use that. And secondly, I think while I agree a lot with Bimal's point on data sanctity and how it is not very clean, I think we also have, while we have investments and everything in place, we have not been able to show an ROI. So all of our investments are basically in the form of a dashboard. Most of our reporting is very descriptive. All of it is very dashboard driven. We have never been able to link it with outcomes or how it drives strategy or how is it affecting business. I think that is where the next level comes in. Once we show that, I'm sure investments will flow in.
Priyambi, to your point, I think there are many such training programs which might be happening in our organizations itself. Like, for example, there is an analytics program which is happening, data analytics itself. I'm sure, there are many such. I think, for us, the key things to ask for ourselves is, are we participating in those programs, and can we leverage that knowledge from those programs to use it from a, data analytics in rewards. I think that's a very important point, which I think probably it's on our own volition, probably that's what is holding back. So I think we need to question, ourselves also on how we can, push ourselves to, have a good data analytics front on reward side.
It's not just about availability. It's also about in the generation that's coming up, are we building that mindset, right? Because HR has been traditionally all about employee engagement, and these are some of the core things that we hear, right? So while we as leaders develop that, are we creating that mindset right from the start in our people? Because that mindset, you may give them all the platforms and tools in the world, right? But if they don't realize the importance or develop that mindset to look into the data, I think all that investment and everything will be for a lost cause. So
I am fully in agreement with you. And in fact, there are many analytics programs that run in our company, in any tech company for that matter, any startup, any automation company, you'd see that. I'm actually referring specifically to analytics programs for HR professionals.
Absolutely, Priyambi. We need to develop use cases which are relevant to people issues, right? Analytics is very broad. It's like a horizontal. You can put any business use case, and then that analytics will be there to, enhance the process or the whatever. I think we need to put up what are our problem statements and how can analytics then, improve that.